This is the noob, and this video is just going to be a quick overview of graphics in RCBasic 4. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new project. Call this graphics lesson. I'm going to put this on my desktop, put it in tutorial, and yeah. And the main file is going to be main.bas, and okay. Alright, and it always starts off with the print hello world program. Just run that real quick and make sure hello world pops up. That's just a quick test for to make sure everything is working. And now I'm going to get rid of that. And every program in RC, or every graphics program in RCBasic, you need to start by creating a window. So we can just go to open window, and there's two open windows functions. They're open window and open window EX, and you can scroll through this and see the differences. We don't necessarily need EX. It just gives us more options for when we open a window. We're just going to go with the normal open window function, and our title is going to be just my window, I guess. And width, I'm gonna go with the normal 640 by 480, and I'm gonna set full screen to false, and VSync, I guess I'm gonna set that to true. Actually, no, I'll set it to false. So in RCBasic 3, if you wanted to RCBasic to lock it to a frame rate, you would set that to true. But in RC4, you have this function called set FPS. I think I might have added it to 3.21 as well. I don't remember. But and the only thing we need to pass is the frames per second we want. So we're going to set that to 60. And now we have our window. Next, our RCBasic has always operated off of canvases, and a canvas is just a virtual uh, canvas that you draw onto. Like that's how the actual display is made up of. It's made of just a bunch of canvases stacked on top of each other. So we're just going to create a simple, just regular paint canvas for now. That's the type of canvas you can just draw on. So we'll call this paint canvas equals open canvas. And also that's another thing. Yeah, like if you have issues where it's not like the info display is not showing up where it needs to. Like I noticed that it happens sometimes if you don't have a bunch of lines and like have a few lines at the end of your program, and usually if you just add a few lines at the end, it should just fix that. Um, I don't know what caused it, but I'll try to see if I can have that fixed in the future. But for now, we need to have the width and height. So 640 and 480. This is going to be the width. The 640 and 480 I put here is the width and height of the entire canvas. So you could make paint canvases larger than that, um, which I'll show in a second. But for now, we're just going to set it to 640 by 480. We're going to tell RCBasic to open the canvas at position 0, 0 in the window, and the viewport, or the portion of the canvas that's visible, we're just going to make 640 by 480 as well. We're basically saying out of the entire size of the canvas, which is what these two numbers are, only 640 by 480 pixels is actually visible. And mode, Uh, I'm gonna open. I'm gonna hit this again. Oops. Uh, yeah. Well. So let's scroll down here, and we see mode. You can set this to 0 for solid or 1 for color keyed. Basically, like translucent or transparent. I mean, I mean, you can see the non, the canvas is see-through basically. Like it's like drawing on projector paper or something. So we want to set that to 1, or you know set it to 1, and that's going to make our canvas so that it's like drawing on projector paper basically. And now, for now, that's all we're going to do is just open up that one canvas. And now we are going to set up our main render loop. So to do that, just while, and I usually like to do while window exists, which basically means while the window is open, this loop will continue running. And then when to close the loop, and then update so that it updates the state of our window each time through the loop. And that's the simplest graphics program you can make right here is opening a window, optionally setting your FPS, creating a canvas, and then setting up your main render loop. And if we run that, we have our window with the title My Window that I set up here. And now, right now we see our program is still running while the window exists. So if we close the window, it'll no longer exist, and our program ends. So now let's actually start just drawing some stuff. I'm not going to show off a whole lot. I'm going to show how to draw a couple of basic shapes, and I'll show how to load and draw an image, and then we're going to move on to the other canvases because there's 3 different types of canvases you can open. So first, let's go over just drawing a shape. So um, I don't actually have to draw it each time through the loop, but normally, this is why I'm going to show it off here. Normally, you would want to clear, so we would set our canvas active, so set the paint canvas active, and then clear canvas. Oops. That's going to clear the paint like canvas that we created each time through the loop. And now we'll just draw like a rectangle. So let's just set color, and color takes in a 32-bit color value, so you can just get one by doing RGB, and we'll set the color to red, so 255 0, 0, and that's going to set our drawing color to red. Now let's just draw a rectangle. We'll draw it slightly offset from the top left corner. So let's do rect, and we're going to do rect field. That'll draw a filled rectangle, and that is kind of annoying. I'm going to add a lot of extra lines to the end there. That should make it, yeah. So let's set this to 10, 10, and then the width of the rectangle we'll set to like 100 by 100. And now let's run that. And we get ourselves a rectangle slightly offset from the top left corner. So let me close this. And if you want to set this so that like the window closes when you hit the escape key, you can still do the window exists here. I think that's good to have that here. Um, and then inside of here, I'm just going to do if key k underscore escape, then uh, exit while. This will just exit the while loop whenever you press the escape key. And let's run that, and then hit escape and close. Yeah. So this is the simple way of just drawing like a colored shape. Next, let's go into just loading an image. So let me find an image to load. Um, when I go into some of the game assets I have. Um, right. So I have a simple game character asset that I'm just going to, let's go to desktop and tutorial and graphics lesson. And then I'm just going to paste this simple uh, character I have here. And this is going to be what I load. So, and this character is actually a lot. I guess it's fine for this. I mean, it's bigger than our window actually, but you know, it's fine. So what is the name of that file? I'm gonna change the name of this file to character .png. So here, I'm just gonna go to uh, char img equals load image, and then character.png. Alright, that loads our image and then stores the reference to the image in char img variable. Now here, I'm just going to draw it on top of the rectangle. So go here and just draw image, and we'll start drawing the image at 0, 0. Actually, sorry. The image we're drawing and then where we're drawing the image at. And now let's draw that. Oh, I guess it's not bigger. The whole image must be though, I guess. So yeah, that's how you would just draw a simple image. Um, one more thing I'm gonna show off before I go to a different canvas type is how to draw a tile map. So let me find a tile set. I have a few on here somewhere. I have a bunch of game assets I have collected over a long time, so I'm just gonna find a pre-made tile set. Um, this is one. So we are going to use this. I mean, for the purpose of this, it's not gonna look pretty, but it's gonna be fine for what we're gonna use it for. So let's actually let me see if I can find a better one. Uh, a lot of these, I'll go with the 16 by 16. Normally, I try to use 32 by 32 tile sets, but uh, PNG. And also, any tile set that would work with like RPG Maker or anything would also just work with RCBasic, you know. Man, I cannot find a tile set that just has some simple grass in it. Maybe I should have stuck with that first one. Platformer. I know where I have a good tile set. We'll use the tile set from the example folder for RC Basic. So well actually we'll just go and look at the So this is the water tile that I used in the tiling example, which we're just going to remake that tiling example here. So paste this in here, and this has two tiles in it. Like they're basically supposed to be animated, so like which is good because I'm gonna show off how to animate that. So first we need to load that water tile image. So let's do that. Um, we'll call this water tile image or img, I guess, equals load image water underscore tile.png. So this loads our water tile image. And now we need to create a tile set for it. So we'll call it just tset equals create tile set, and the image we're going to create it from, and the width of the each tile, which I believe the water tile is 32. Yeah, it's 32 by 32. That's the width of each tile in this tile set. So 32 and 32. So now that we've created a tile set, we need to create a tile animation for that water tile. So let's just go with uh, create tile. Oops. Set tile animation length, and the tile set is tset. The base tile, I'll go and explain this real quick too. So base tile, this has two tiles in it, like 0 and 1. So the base tile is the tile, the first tile in the animation, basically. So it's since we want to just animate tile 0, we're going to set tile 0 as our base tile and then add frames to that. So our base tile is 0 and our number of frames is going to be 2. And by default, it's going to set both frames equal to the base tile, which is 0. So now we need to just set tile animation frame, and the tile set again, the base tile, which is 0, the animation frame, which is since we have two frames, the first frame is 0, the second frame is 1. We want to change frame 1, and the tile we want to change frame 1 animation. This animation frame 2 is tile 1. Like I said, it has two tiles in it, 0 and 1. So the second frame in this animation is going to be tile set 1, tile 1. And now let's set the tile animation speed. And I guess I don't even know what a good speed is off the top of my head. I usually play around with it, but we're gonna set like maybe we'll go with 8 frames a second or something. I think that's good. So base tile 0 and like we'll say 8 frames a second. So now we've created our tile set and we've animated our tile. We need to create a tile map. So let's just create a tile map. Tmap equals create tile map, and the tile set, our width, we'll set it to 100 by 100. And now we need to put tiles on our tile map. You could set a tile on each individual part of the tile map just by doing set tile, and then the tile map, and the tile we want to set, which we want to set 0, and we'll put it at 0, 0. And let me open this up again just so you can see what this says. Place a tile. I mean, this doesn't go in enough detail, but when it says place the tile on a tile map, it's not at the pixel XY location. Think of each cell in a tile map as a different X and Y. So 0, 0 is the first tile, and then 1, 0 would be the tile right next to it, not 1 pixel over. So this is the tile that the place in the tile map we're setting. So now that we've set that, we don't need to draw this image or draw the rectangle anymore. Actually, I will keep this on just to show that you can just stack stuff on top of each other. So like let's say on top of the image, actually I don't need to draw the image. I'll just stack it on top of the rectangle. I'm going to draw the tile map. So draw tile map, and then tmap. Um, and this is the position on the screen we want to draw our tile map at. I'm gonna set it so it draws right on top of the rectangle, so 10, 10. And the width and the height is the amount of tiles that we, well, actually not the amount of tiles. The width and the height is the width and the height of the viewport of the tile map. So we could set it to basically let's set it to 100 by 100, which is going to be the entire size of the rectangle. Well, actually, we'll set it to slightly less just so that I'm going to show something else later, but we'll set it to like maybe 70 by 70. And then offset is the place in the tile map where we want to start rendering at, and we'll just start off at 0, 0 in the tile map. And this the position in the tile map where it starts rendering at, that is in actual pixel XY coordinates, not cell. So like when you want to scroll the tile map, you would just increase these two values, the X and Y, to scroll through the tile map. So now we are drawing our tile map. Let's go ahead and run that. And we have our tile map drawing on top of our rectangle. Um, Now let's just play around with just scrolling through the tile map. Um, Also, and you notice that I didn't actually, I mean, I only placed the tile here at 0, 0, but there was more tiles in there. The Something I should have mentioned is the default tile is 0, 0. We could empty that out though, so let's just do fill tile and then tmap. The tile is going to be -1, which is basically no tile, and we'll start filling at 0, 0, and we'll say 100, 100. This is going to fill in a square area with this tile, which is -1. And then after we fill the entire thing with -1, we'll draw a tile at 0, 0. So there should only be one tile in the tile map now. Yeah. So the actual tile map is still the same size, but we're only drawing. We filled in the like all of the tiles first with -1, which is basically no tile, and then we afterwards we use set tile to draw a tile in the top left corner of the tile map. So now, before we move on, let's just play around with scrolling the tile map. So we'll make two more variables for tile map x, well, tile map offset x, just so it's easier to understand. And we'll set that to 0 for now, and tmap offset y equals 0. And so we'll just do if key k underscore right, then we will increase the x offset by 1. And then if key k underscore down, then we'll increase the y by 1. All right. So I'm not gonna have. Actually, I'll go ahead and do the left too. So uh, then else if, and then we'll say this is left, and then we'll do -1, and then we'll do the same thing here. and this will be up and -1 for the Y. So this will allow us to scroll through our tile map when we press the arrow keys. So now let's run that. And we're same as last time, but now if we press the arrow keys, oh wait, uh, I set these variables, but I need to put these variables in the offset in this function call. So there. So now these variables are gonna be the offset for where the tile map position. So now the tile map scrolls when we press the arrow keys, and you see it's still 70 by 70. So it's like the entire rectangle is 100 by 100, so it's not even covering the entire rectangle, but it is scrolling through the tile map. And that's how tile maps work. So now I'm gonna get rid of most of this. So let's just get rid of all this for now. And before I do that though, I want to mention like canvases were meant to be stacked on top of each other. A paint canvas is for just drawing just drawing like static images. It's for drawing tile maps and it's for drawing text. So you can load fonts and draw text on paint canvases. So if you wanted to have like a text UI on top of like a 3D scene or something, or on top of a sprite layer, you would create that sprite layer and then create a paint canvas, and then you can stack them, choose the order they render in by doing set canvas Z, and then you like so. And with canvases with higher Z order are drawn first, and those with lower values are drawn on top. So Z like a Z order of 0 is gonna be the top canvas that's on top of every other canvas, and then the higher you increase Z, the further back that canvas is drawn. So if you want to draw like this paint canvas on top of every other canvas, you would just set um, set the Z value to 0. And then this would be the top canvas, and then if you drew a 3D scene behind it, the paint canvas would be drawn on top, and then the 3D scene would be behind it, and you could draw like sprite layers on top of 3D scenes, on top of paint canvases. You can, mix and match however you want. So it's important to understand how canvases work. Canvases were meant to be stacked on top of each other. That's how it was designed to work. And once you understand that, you can create any kind of scene you want. Generally, if you want text, you would create a paint canvas and then put that paint canvas like I did here at 0, and then just like whenever you need to draw text like a dialog box or something, you would just you know set your canvas, set your active canvas to your paint canvas, and then draw your text and stuff. Just drawing text is just like how you would draw an image, or it's actually simpler than drawing a tile map. So and there's plenty of examples in the RCBasic folder that shows how to draw text and stuff. So with that though, just to keep this stuff readable, I hang on. I am not going to, and actually I am going to zoom this in. Let's see, let me zoom this in a little bit. So hopefully it shows. I should have had it zoomed in this much the entire time, but just so it looks a little bit more readable on the video. Um, and yeah, I'm gonna get rid of a lot of this for now, and then we're gonna go into sprite canvases. So let's get rid of all of this, and sprite canvas for well, I'm gonna get rid of that too. And now we're gonna create a sprite canvas. So let's just say sprite canvas equals open canvas sprite layer. I know it's a long name, but the reason I chose that name for that function is so that when you type in open canvas, the autocomplete would show every type of canvas you can create. Because if I had to put open sprite canvas, then open canvas wouldn't show the other types of canvases you can open. So that was the reason for the naming thing. But the auto completion was meant to be used, so open sprite canvas sprite layer, and then this only takes four arguments: viewport X, viewport Y, viewport W, viewport H. That's the X, Y, like where the sprite canvas starts drawing at, and then the width and height of the viewport. You don't have to set the full size of a sprite canvas because a sprite canvas is an infinite size. Basically, you just, like you could scroll to like 1 million, 1 million in a sprite canvas. It's not like a norm. It's not like a full blown texture render target in memory. It's just literally just draws the locations where your viewport is scrolled to. So for this, we're gonna set it to 0, 0, just basically starting the viewport, the top left corner screen, and then the sprite canvas is gonna be the full size of the window. And now we need a sprite. So let me pull that window back up. Uh, um, so I do have this, but I want to show off some sprite animation. Um, so um, let's go back into here. I have some sprites in here too. Let's go to characters. Um, uh, what's this? Oh, sweet. So this is a usable, uh, sort of. Uh, these are supposed to be 32 by 32. So I guess we'll go ahead and use this. So let's just copy that. And we are going to put it back in to our folder here as well. And I'm just going to copy the name so I can paste it into our program. Copy. Now let's load that image. So load image. Uh, and we'll say SPRIM. Well, I guess I'll just go image equals load image. So we loaded our sprite image there. Now we need to create a sprite from it. So um, we'll call our sprite hero sprite equals create sprite, and then the image and our frame width should be 32 by 32. Um, and now, like that, our sprite is created. Let's take off like well, basically, so set sprite solid and then hero sprite and false, and that should eliminate the like uh, its collision and stuff. And now we don't need to tell it each frame to draw a sprite. Sprites are just automatically drawn whenever update is called. So let's run this. And we have our sprite drawing, but no animation on it. So next, let's set some animation on a sprite. So uh, we need to create a sprite animation. So let's do hero walk animation equals create sprite animation and hero sprite. The animation length. Let's look. I actually don't. I've never used this particular sheet before, so um, I don't even know if these are walk frames or not. It looks like they are. Um, So it starts at 0, then 1, and then 2, and so forth. Like each cell is like starts at 0 and it continues up, going left to right, top to bottom. So it looks like going across, that's one animation. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frames. So we'll set this to 6 frames, and then the animation speed is going to be, I guess we'll go with like 12. Um, and now we are going to set our animation frame. So set sprite animation, oops, animation frame, and hero sprite, hero walk animation, and the animation frame uh, 0 is going to be 0. And I'm going to copy this because we're going to be doing this 6 times. 3, 4, 5, 6. So, and 1 is going to be 1. 2 is going to be 2. 3 is going to be 3. 4 is going to be 4. And 5 is going to be 5. These numbers are going to be the same going down for this one because I'm just using the first 4 frames in the sheet as the frames of animation in this particular animation. So, and now we are going to set the sprite animation to the hero walk animation. So hero sprite, hero walk animation. And for number of loops, if you want it to loop infinitely, just set it to -1. And so now that should just have our sprite animation playing, which this animation looks like it just makes his eye blink. So it's not a walk animation. But if you followed that, which you can freeze it here, or I mean, I'll provide this code on like somewhere later as well. You should be able to see those same frames of animation that I had, and that is basically how a sprite layer works. There's other things you can do with sprites too. Like sprites can have physics, so if you want physics, first of all set sprite solid to true, and then let's also set sprite what is it, gravity scale, and let's just set it to like, I mean, it should already be 1, but we'll just make sure to set it to 1. And then also the physics, the like for like gravity for the layer, you would want to set canvas, uh, not set gravity 2D. That's what it is. So set gravity 2D. X is generally going to be 0. And then Y, you want it to be pulling down. So like we'll set that to 1. I mean, well, actually we could set it higher too. Like set it to like 3 or something. Now run this, and we see our sprite falling. This is because gravity is being applied to it. And the more like we could change how much gravity applies to the sprite by changing this scaling value here, or we could just increase the gravity by changing this. So let's set this to like 15. This should make it fall 5 times faster, and we got more gravity. And if you want to see examples of how to like make a ground and stuff like that, look at the like the 2D examples that come with RCBasic. Like there's a couple of sprite examples. The one that comes with Nirvana, and then just a normal sprite test or whatever, and it'll show how to create ground and stuff like that. So the last layer I'm going to show off is the 3D one, which is the cool new one for RCBasic. Well, actually, it's the sprite layer and the 3D layer are both new to RCBasic 4 from 3 anyway. So to create a 3D layer, we'll just call this M3D. I think that's what I called it in most of the examples. And then just open canvas 3D. And then this all takes the same arguments as the sprite layer, and then it also takes mode, which I should have included a note in here on what mode is, but I did not. But mode is the same thing that's from the normal open canvas. We're going to set it to, we'll just set it to 0. So 0, comma, 0, comma, 640, comma, 480, and 0. Now we have a 3D canvas. And with 3D, you can like load models just by using like load mesh. If you have a model and it shows the different types of models you can load here. You can also load animator scenes specifically by doing uh, load AN8, and that would load a scene from an animator. Well, it would load an animator file, and then you can do load AN8 scene. Uh, yeah. Oh, load mesh from AN8. Yeah, load mesh from AN8, and you can load a scene from a animator file. Animation support with animator is still pretty limited, but I mean not super limited. Like if you're just using the what is it, the influences on your bones and stuff when you're animating, then it should just work. It just doesn't work with painted weights that well right now. But we're not even going to load a mesh for this since this is just about showing off the canvas. We can create a simple actor from like a few simple shapes. So we're just going to create a cube um, equals create cube actor, and then we'll set the cube size to uh, like 8, and that will create a cube in our scene. Um, and now let's just we also want to I'm gonna set the gravity to 0. Set 3D, and I'm gonna set it to 0 all the way around. And now we should see our cube. Although we have a completely um, our scene is like completely black, we need to set a material for our cube so that our cube can be seen. Um, First, I'm going to move the camera back some because it's probably drawing inside the cube. So let's, if the cube is going to start out at 0, 0, 0, unless we change position, so we can move the cube, or we can just first set our active camera to the 3D camera and 3D canvas, and then set camera position, and we will just move it. We're gonna move it back like 20. And now let's uh, get our material. So cube, actually, yeah, cube. We're actually just gonna create a new material. So cube material. Material is how you would set textures and light properties and all kinds of other stuff. Like basically, like how your mesh is rendered. So you can just create a material by doing create material. And if you want to set an FX material, which is what I'm going to do for this, you have to create a material. You cannot just change a type of an existing material to FX, like on an actor to FX. You need to create a new material for it. So create, we got our cube material. So now let's set material type and our material we want to set the type on is the cube material. And material type, we're going to set this to FX material plastic. And the plastic material by default is like this red color. So that now should make it so that our cube is, it should have made it so our cube is visible. Maybe change the position of the camera. What am I messing up here? First of all, let's just change that to, we should have our cube material on our actor. We set that. This is actually easier to do if you're just doing it inside of Serenity. I'm gonna just go ahead and open up the example though, because I do have an example where I've already done this. Examples, and it is here. So here is like where I've already done this. What did I set my camera to? So, oh, yeah, I did some crazy stuff with this. So I'm going to use those same camera settings here. And also, like, I think the cube size here is 20. I'll keep the plastic material on the cube, but I'm going to do that. And then also, I forgot to set my lighting to false. Oh, I forgot to set my material on my actor. That's one other thing I forgot. So let's set, I'm making all kinds of mistakes, but I'm kind of like just shooting off the hip with this. I didn't really pre-prepare anything. So cube material, and we're going to set that to false. And now set actor material and cube, actually like material number 0 and then the cube material. Because actors can actually have multiple materials, and the reason why you would want that is if your model, let's say you had a model you made in Blender or Animator or whatever, and it had multiple materials, you would set those same materials like this in code. If you're using Serenity, Serenity does all that for you. When you do Serenity load stage, it sets materials for all your actors and everything based off of what you set inside the editor. But anything you can do in Serenity or Nirvana, you could just do in straight code if you wanted to, or if you wanted to use like a separate editor. Like, I only provide those editors just so somebody it has something to use right when you download RCBasic, but they're very simplistic and they're like that by design. So this should have it, yep. And oh, that is actually this hang on. So now let's try this again. Yeah, there's our cube right there in the middle of the screen. And from there, like, you could do a lot of other stuff in a 3D scene. Like, if you wanted to create a sky, like set your skybox, you could set scene, set scene, add scene, yeah, add scene skybox. So this would add the skybox to the current scene, or the dome if you wanted to. You could add dome as well. I should have just called those set scene skybox and set scene dome and stuff, but I don't know what I was thinking when I was naming these functions. They're not going to change because I don't want to mess with compatibility at this point. So yeah, add scene skybox, and you can get your 6 images. Which, if you're using a skybox generator, it'll give you those 6 images. Same thing with dome. You can just load a panorama image with that, and then this allows you to set other properties on a dome if you want to add that. And there, yeah, like look at like a lot of the demos that are included just to see what you can do with it. But like I said, if like right now we've got this 3D scene. If I wanted to, I could open up another canvas, like paint canvas I had earlier, and then I could use that to draw like text on top of my 3D scene, or to draw like images or UI or whatever I wanted to draw on top of my 3D scene. You could do a lot more than that, but that's far beyond the scope of this video. I hope that this was somewhat useful, and I will see you in the next video. See ya.